Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Lane Yappers. Today, we're going to be recapping the Montreal Grand Prix. I'm Lex.
I'm Haley.
I'm Tay.
And I'm Mox.
And Reagan is currently on a flight, so she's not here. And Rosie is MIA. She's still living her best life.
Well, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry that I've been absent the past few episodes. Recording happens while I'm at work when we can't do the weekends. Before we do our recap of the weekend, we've got a very special announcement. So any eagle-eyed person on our socials were aware that we were doing a giveaway once we hit a milestone on our Twitter following. I'm going to pass it over to Tay because she's got a little bit more information on that.
So yeah, we are giving away, I don't know. Anyways, free fan bundles for Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. It includes a hat, a car, and a keychain, and some bracelets, and Polaroids, and some fun little goodies and whatnot for each team. So we just picked the winners yesterday. So we are happy to announce that the winner of the Ferrari bundle is at Mark Webba 2_2 on Twitter. So woo!
Yay!
Mark Webber
get silenced by our noise.
So congrats to you for the Ferrari bundle. And then our winner of the Mercedes bundle is on Twitter at Vettel_Bs. So
Seb.
Woo. So congrats to you. And then our third and final winner of the Red Bull bundle is Peyton, who is at Freak Bull Vettel on Twitter. So woo!
Yay!
So congrats again to those three winners. And we've been in contact with them, and they've DM'd us back. So they will be getting their goodies as of right now after Silverstone.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
But maybe sooner. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yay! Oh my gosh!
And also thank you to everyone who has started to follow us along because of the giveaway. We didn't realize how much traction it would get, but we're very thankful for anyone who chooses to listen to us
really thought
because
it
of
was
that.
Maybe
we thought it was going to take us like a week to get to the follower count, and I was out like running errands, and my phone just starts blowing up with, "Did you finish the giveaway posts? Because we have to post them. We hit 300." I was like, I am at Whole Foods. Like, can we?
I'm currently looking at some produce.
I was like, I'm trying to figure out what sushi I want for lunch. Can we chill? But no, it was super fun. Yeah, if this is your first episode with us, then welcome. Usually
what an episode to choose to join us.
Yeah, not an episode.
What an episode.
We don't even have all 6 Yappers.
Guys, you're going to see me at my worst, but we'll get there. You thought Miami was bad?
Miami is probably the best episode we filmed so far.
Oh yeah.
I've already got tears in my eyes. Hold on.
While Lex cries, I do want to say thanks to everybody who did enter. Like we said, we were not expecting that many people to enter. The Ferrari bundle alone had over 300 entries, so which is crazy. So just thank you everybody.
A Ferrari fan.
And I hope you all stay for ever
Stay tuned,
and ever.
Too. Stay tuned, because this isn't going to be the only giveaway.
Yeah. We ended up having
an appetite wetter for everybody.
Exactly.
A what?
We ended up having
an appetite wetter. Have you never heard that term?
Nope.
Has anyone else heard the term? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I get you. Oh my god.
We're gonna go into the race weekend.
Got the cameras.
Alex crying already. Sorry, not. We haven't even gotten through FP1 yet.
Time
Oh
out.
my god.
I'm gonna turn on my fan because I'm sweating because I'm crying.
FP1.
FP1.
The most notable thing of FP1,
Jack Doohan.
Jack Doohan in a car.
He didn't even set a time.
He didn't
No.
Personal friend of the pod.
I don't
Jack
think it's his
Doohan.
fault though, because
It was not. It was
that
the
was
weather.
insane.
I'm
I
pretty sure
heard
they.
I saw Mercedes' story of Lewis with the hail, and he's like, "Look at." I was like,
It was like,
"There's
we're
no
not-
way they're driving in that. Like, no way."
No.
Canada
Oh my
is
God.
always exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
Always wet. You'd think
Well.
that maybe they would move the season, but no.
Nah.
They're like,
they
no,
could move Qatar to
No.
a slightly cooler
They're like,
time.
you know what? We love having this in the middle of the rainy season and directly in the middle of the European leg. This is perfect.
Do you know who decided to keep Canada? Jensen Button. He's like,
King.
Listen, anything can happen in Canada. Look at what happened to me.
He said,
Hey, you know
2011, the blueprint.
You know what? And guess what? He was in the top 10 for Le Mans this weekend, so he can do whatever he wants.
Jensen Button!
Jensen
I like how we
Button.
say Jack is a friend of the pod, but Jensen Button
fully,
isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jensen Button 100% is the starter of the pod.
Real.
Haley
Well,
and I walked the street of New York City for Jensen Button. So
Yeah.
Well,
but
Mott's literally because that's the only person she met in New York.
real,
Yeah.
true.
Literally.
Okay, but FP1
Jack Doohan in the car.
That
didn't
I
have
don't
a
care
time,
about.
but
The cabinet of Doohan Schumacher 2025.
As president.
but that
As co-president.
that
As
apparently
vice.
started the Jack Doohan in the car apparently like kind of kickstarted Alpine being like, okay, Doohan is a very good option for Alpine for 2025.
Oh my god.
And he didn't even set a time.
Yeah,
So-
let's not forget that before the day before, like, or the week of Montreal, they announced that they would not be renewing.
It was mutual,
Esteban
everybody.
Ocon.
It was mutual.
It was mutual.
It's really not. I can tell you. I can guarantee
Hey, did you
right
just do
now.
3 fingers at one point?
She said, I really need y'all to get that this is in quotation marks.
Because I was holding something, so it looked like I had 3 fingers up.
That was mutual.
Wait, that's
Oh my
not
gosh,
how it
the watch band. Dan.
I was like, mine isn't that bad. Thank God.
It's really bad.
Mine's
But,
covered.
In
Yeah, there you
in
go.
Anyways,
connection to the Alpine Jack in the car, Esteban out of the car, Jack in Esteban's car.
Yeah.
I caught one of the commentators. They were talking about with Alpine and how they're trying to figure out who's going to be in that seat. One of them just straight up said, "They're not a very desirable team." And I had to pause for a second, write the quote down verbatim to make
was
sure to bring it
probably
up
Julian
because that was
Palmer.
crazy.
He's
Can
always
I
out
just tell
there
you, these
starting shit.
commentators are on something this year. They
F1
have
TV
said
commentators,
so
you could
many
never
stuff.
make me hate you.
I was like,
Incredible. Yeah.
but
It's like back when they gave Logan's when they stole Logan's car and gave it to Alex, and Julian Palmer was out there standing in front of the Williams garage with a microphone going, "This is just embarrassing. This is an embarrassment of a team." And everyone was like,
and then I think it was Crofty who went,
It's like, well,
Alex
for his
Albon can't.
birthday.
Yeah, I think he was like, Alex Albon can't ever return this birthday present to Logan Sargent. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Uncalled for.
Crazy.
But it's
Yeah,
funny.
Commentators gone crazy.
But
Yeah.
he wasn't last. Logan wasn't last in FP1.
Logan wasn't
No.
last in any of the sessions.
He was in an
Exactly.
Aston
Except for
Martin.
Q2 technical.
He
Well,
was in an Aston Martin sandwich.
he was.
Alonso
there are worse
Sargent.
places to be.
Was FP1 where Joe crashed?
well,
I think he crashed in all of them.
Joe crashed in
Well,
quite a
actually,
few.
so you're very right.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. I'm
If
pretty
anything
sure
in the comments, there was I think it was a weekly wrap up or something. I was just listening to it in the background while I was doing something, and they were like, Joe Guan Yu has crashed more times than Logan Sargent this year, and people still want him.
Yep.
Listen, I have
Which is
nothing
true.
against Joe as a
I don't
person.
either.
I don't either. I
actually
love
quite
him.
like him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of performance, Logan is not the one that needs to be targeted.
Yep.
Correct.
Or if
Agreed.
I'm
Logan's
sorry.
getting targeted, why are we only targeting Logan?
Yeah.
Because there's people that have been giving a worse performance and nobody's mentioning it.
I think it goes to show how unfair this sport is when it comes to who's actually deserving of a seat and who's not.
Mhm. FP1 Norris.
Okay.
P1.
Norris P1,
Woo!
Carlos P2.
Exactly. Thank you,
Finally.
Carlando.
Fernando. Woo!
God.
You really can't separate those two.
No,
Never,
you can't.
I find it really
Also-
funny that during FP1, there was more of cars swimming than on track.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just
Daniel
say Logan
going
got a
through it?
time? Logan
All
got
I
a time and Alex didn't.
I
Period.
have
That's my
beef
boy.
with that specific turn and the bollard that they had to go around because I think it made it more unsafe for the drivers to have to. The natural turn of the cars once they hit that grass was to go around it on the right. The steward said that if you went around it on the right, like Oscar did, then you got a warning. If you went around it on the left, you were good. Going around it on the left meant that they were taking a blind turn back onto the track. They had no visible view of the track behind them. And that was unsafe, especially after they had caught water, things like that. I don't like that. I did not like that change this year, and I definitely don't think that they should keep it next year. If they're going to, they need to move the bollard over.
You
They
heard
did
her,
quite
FIA.
You heard
quite
her.
a few changes, didn't they? Also,
Yeah.
they made like 3 changes to the
grass.
track.
You know how
A bunch
Sebastian
of
Vettel
grass.
made like Miami GP underwater 2026? He needs to
Mhm.
come back to the grid just to make one. Montreal underwater 2025.
No, literally. Yeah.
Yes.
Like genuinely, the freaking TikToks that came out of that one free practice, like don't make unnecessary journeys.
Yeah, literally.
From
Stop
Red Bull.
swimming.
Like,
You're like,
And
oh, I
then
just watched
Alonso-
car.
my favorite video of Alonso, some fan found Alonso and he was just literally standing out in the rain. He was just standing like himself and he's like, look, no jacket, nothing. He was just standing. I'm like, yep,
That's so typical
That's-
Fernando Alonso. behavior.
checks
I'm
my
not
man.
surprised.
That checks out.
I was like, that's my man.
Yep.
But
Makes sense.
is that
will
it?
say.
Speaking of Alonso, can we go to FP2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Guys, this top 3 was insane.
Was this the one that you were at
Insane.
work for?
Yes, I was outside
Yeah.
taking out the trash and I saw the photo. I was on the ground. If I can get the freaking video footage, I will put it in here and edit it. But if I can't, I fell to the ground.
Oh my god, please. It not only being Alonso P1, but then George P2 and Stroll P3. I was like, oh, here we
Wild.
go.
That is me. That's me in a podium. If anything, get rid of Stroll and put in Carlos, and then it would really be me. But like,
Well, it just goes to show how variable it is, especially on the track that's wet and then dry and then wet and then who knows.
Mhm.
Lando and Carlos went from P1 and P2 to P13 and P20.
Lando said, just
was
curly
Lando
things.
having problems? Because when I watched it,
going out on
I was like,
time.
this guy's not. I didn't know if they just kept him in or.
There was a lot of traffic, and he just kept aborting laps. They just
Oh, real.
clearly they got the info they needed, and were like, "You do whatever you want." And you know what Lando's gonna do? It's abort a good lap.
Yeah. Likely.
Can we talk about
That was crazy.
Max in FP2? P18?
Yeah, we
He
can't talk
was
about
reporting
Max.
car issues, and you
Yeah,
know,
That's
it
the
gave me
power
hope.
unit.
It gave
It
me
gave
hope
me
because
hope.
he was reporting issues the entire weekend, and
It was like Miami
Yeah.
repeat.
It was
Like,
the
Yeah.
oh, here we
well,
go.
it was the power unit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so they put the old one
yeah.
back in, but they're like,
So,
this
yeah,
is not
they
gonna
had,
last.
They had
So they
switched it
hit-
before FP1 for a new one for the weekend, and then they were having issues with it in FP1, and then they got really bad in FP2. So overnight they switched it back to the one that they had it in previously, which is not great because that means at some point they're going to have to put the old one back in. That was causing them problems, but
The new
you know
one
what?
that's now old. But
Yeah,
if they do a new one, which they're going to have to do
Mhm.
eventually, he gets a grid penalty.
yep. Ugh.
Yeah.
So sorry to any Red Bull fan.
Listen,
We
I
just-
love Max.
And it's a
I
pretty
love Max.
hefty, isn't
I'm
it a pretty
tired.
hefty one? pretty hefty grid penalty, isn't it?
I don't know. It's Max Verstappen. I don't think he's gonna get a grid penalty for that.
I think it depends
Christian
on
Horner
when
is
in
just
the
gonna get
weekend.
fined because
I think
that's how
it
it
depends
works.
when on the weekend they change it. If it's after qualifying, he would start from the pit lane. If it's before, it kind of depends on
I think
what.
It's 5 grid penalty.
Yeah.
Place
That
up
sounds
to
right.
5.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about it.
So-
Actually, don't talk to me about the pit lane start. I want to talk about torture. But Logan did
Yeah.
really well too.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
will. Let me pull out the note.
She said, "I have notes. Hold on."
Where did
like,
he
wait
end?
a minute.
Paper.
I don't have a
12.
note as to where he ended in
P12.
P2.
Yeah.
P12.
I'm looking at the results right now because I
too.
don't write the results down.
I wrote the ones from FP3 because I was giggling and happy. But Logan this weekend as a whole, he was doing really well.
It could have
We
gone
had
so well.
loins. There were loins possible on the table.
Not
And
Lawrence.
alboins.
Alboins.
Loins and alboins.
That's my favorite term.
We
Actually,
almost had
my
them.
favorite one is nanoids.
The noins made me giggle. That was the first time I ever heard
Like,
that kind
I
of combination.
It's my favorite thing because I understand we all call him Nano, but like the poor man, everybody else gets their last name.
No.
He gets
No,
the nickname.
loins,
He
babes.
doesn't even get the full name.
Loins and alboins. We almost had them, but we'll get there.
We almost had the loins.
Okay, do you know
My
who was
favorite is
kind
still
of cooking?
yours.
Yoins
know
is
who's-
funny.
Do you know who was kind of cooking, but like in a wild, kind of chaotic way? Hey, Mag.
I was thinking
You say
that's
fucking
when we're in the
hot.
race. That's when we talked about the race. We
Yeah,
still have
but
another
he was
practice.
P6 in FP2.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he did pretty
Anyways.
well all weekend, pretty much.
Kevin Magnussen is still and forever will be on my burn book.
Oh,
I will
real.
never forget.
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Anyways,
FP3.
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 Wild.
Joe was in the wall and out within the first
Likely
6
many
minutes.
such cases.
Yeah.
I felt so
First
The
bad.
on the
goat
grid,
back
first
on
out.
top, baby.
Yeah.
And that is not Fernando Alonso, even though that is the GOAT, but the 7-time world champion GOAT.
I was gonna say. No.
The GOAT to me is Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, I thought it was actually, you guys know my beef with George Russell, but I thought it was great to see Mercedes back in like fighting position with
Also-
both of the drivers.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't remember who it was, but one of the Mercedes people gave an exclusive interview to somebody, I don't even know, I think it was Sky Sports, and he's like, yeah, we figured out where our performance is lacking. And then Lewis Hamilton gave a quote, and he's like, yeah, we have no idea what's going on.
He's like,
and George
yeah.
was like, we fixed it. And I was like, oh my gosh, are they fixing one car and just being like,
Oh my
goodbye, Lewis,
goodness.
good luck?
that's what
Which
Lewis
I wouldn't
has
be
been-
shocked.
That's what he has been out talking about, and all I'm saying is that I personally, as a Brosades fan, I'm getting flashbacks to when Toto midseason had to swap their garage teams because he thought that they were sabotaging each other. Like I
Well,
can
okay,
feel it
can I
coming
just-
again.
If we're talking about that, let's talk about him and McLaren. Where he cheated the entire
Fernando-
time, and he's like,
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
letting Fernando
okay.
Alonso beat me. And Fernando
Okay,
Alonso
true.
was like, Spygate.
He
He's like,
said,
I
that-
got an idea.
I can take us both down.
Spygate.
Federal crimes.
Oh my God.
But to be fair, I love Nando. But he did fuck with him that one weekend. He purposefully stayed in the pit.
FP3. Good, deserved. Anyways,
Oh my god.
Max was back on top. Well,
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 there was a lot of beef going on with traffic because since FP1 and FP2 were all like very stinted, everyone was trying to collect data come this final session.
Mhm.
can I
what
just
else do
say
I
that
have?
if this was
Yeah.
a sprint weekend,
They
they
were
were all done
fucked.
for.
oh
They
yeah.
were
yeah.
all done
Oh,
for.
yeah.
It would have
Joe
been
wouldn't
even
have been
worse.
racing.
No. He would have been. He'd be like, I'll see you guys in Spain.
You know what? Maybe
if
he was
not
on the right
Silverstone.
track.
Real.
Joe
Um,
had good ideas.
Yeah.
I think Canada should be sprint next year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Don't.
Honestly.
They're gonna make
Sharks.
it.
Hell yeah.
Sharks.
Let's
Hear us
make
out.
it really interesting next year. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Yep. And they
Guys,
bring
FP2
they
gave
bring
me
F2.
so much hope. I was like, oh my gosh, we are on top. I can see the 33rd incoming. And then FP3, he's like, yeah, I'm lazy, so I'm going to go P8. Boy, this is your job.
Yeah.
You need to get a 33rd, please.
No. He said, I don't feel like it.
He's like, Le Mans doesn't look so bad anymore.
He's like, that looks kind of fun, I can't lie.
But
may I have the floor?
Yes.
Logan Sargent was the first on softs. He cooked purples.
Oh
and
my
he
god.
placed it P1. But you know who was second on softs? Carlos Sainz. You know where he placed it? Behind
4.
Fernando Alonso. He was third. And Fernando was on mediums. Or maybe, I think he was on mediums. Maybe hards. But Logan cooked it.
Yep. And he kept it up there too. He kept it
he beat
up
his
there
teammate in FP3.
for a while.
Yes, he did.
And not by like one
yeah.
spot. Like he was P14 and Alex was P18.
Mm-hmm. Him and Oscar did get a divorce sometime in there.
Shh, we don't talk about that. Let's.
It was hilarious.
There was a lot of
Everybody
traffic
knows.
issues.
I-
Circling
I
back, there was a lot
love-
of traffic issues.
I love when they're cutting between all the drivers' radios and you just hear the most British people ever, and then you get, come on, man! I think it's please keep Americans in the sport. I love it. I love it. I love hearing a
Because
Florida
Logan
man
was
scream at
getting
people.
so sassy.
Yeah.
good
This
for
is
him.
how
It's
weekend,
about-
like he kind of
It is
like gave
about
up.
time. It is
Let
about
him.
time.
So did
Yup.
Oscar.
Let him
Oscar
open his
got
mouth.
snippy with
Yeah.
McLaren.
No, they were getting sassy this weekend.
I don't know
I
what
know.
what was in the air in Canada, but keep it going.
Hail.
Hale was on the ground.
They were
Hale was
trying to
in their
keep
cockpits
moving.
at some point. I don't know.
Yeah. They were just trying to keep moving as quickly as they could.
Also, groundhogs.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, yes.
Oh my god,
Why are we
Carlos,
not
kill
fix
one?
this issue?
Carlos
Why
almost
aren't they
avoiding
afraid?
one, and then Hamilton, and then it caused Logan to just be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I truly don't understand how the groundhogs haven't learned that the cars come every year
Okay,
and to like
well,
move.
it's
They're
once a
groundhogs.
year.
Do you know the brain span, the memory span of a
It's
fucking
1
groundhog?
year.
Evolve.
51 weeks
Do
of
you-
the
do
year.
you think
it's
it's the
their
same
home.
groundhog?
This is like saying sharks
No.
shouldn't be
No,
attacking
they're
people
built-
because
Oh
they
my
know
God.
people go to Florida every summer.
They have built their homes within the track. Why
Because
have
it's
they
nice
evolved
Home
better?
first. Okay, anyways, are we done
Oh
with
my
FP3?
Yes,
Let
but
me
I'd like to
see.
get to
I
qualifying.
have.
Yeah, let's get to qualifying. Let's get to quali. George frickin' Russell.
Hold on. Q1. Or Q.
Q1.
Yeah, Q1.
Did you
Yeah,
say
who was-
FQ1?
Oh yeah,
Pre-qualifying
check out,
one.
out in Q1. Likely, many
Likely.
such cases.
Go out.
Likely.
And guess who was above him?
Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent made it
Again.
into Q2.
Not
in
by just
flying
one.
colors.
Not by one place. Not by
Okay.
2 places.
Can I?
I have an insane stat.
3 places.
Let's go, America.
We
Roar.
love America.
Please put the eagle
Can-
screech right here.
Are we ready for this insane stat?
give us the
Yes.
stat.
Hit me with
Yes.
it.
Logan Sargent has been outqualified by his teammate Alex Albon in every
I know
Grand
this
Prix.
stat.
In every Grand Prix, 30-0. However, Sargent has outqualified Sergio Perez
In a
6
Red Bull.
times
6?
In a Red Bull.
during his time in F1.
Oh
That's my boy.
And let me tell you, most of it was the rocket
Put him in the
ship
Red
last
Bull.
year.
Put him in the
Thank
Red
you.
Bull.
Hear me out. Okay,
Sarge-
maybe not the Red Bull right now. Put him in
Versarge
decarb.
2027.
No, put him Yuki
Versarge.
Logan. Yuki Logan, let's go.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know
like that.
what that team dynamic would be.
Hear me
It
out.
would be it'd be
Check
fun.
out Yuki up to the starter team, and then we get what is it? I saw it was
God.
Sarson, Liam and Logan.
Oh my god,
Anyways,
not a team of 2
won.
blonde men. Rosie would kill herself.
I would be a V-Carb fan.
Rosie would lose her mind.
Welcome. We're
Rosie
lonely.
would literally make sure that team burnt to the ground.
She'd have to get through me first.
Trust
She'd
me,
be
she
showing us to
would.
every race with box brown hair
No.
dye.
She's just fucking squirting them out to people.
Oh my god.
Can we
But anyways.
talk about
You won.
Oh, are we gonna talk about Ferrari?
yeah,
on,
but that's
Q1.
Q2.
Hold on.
Both of my Williams. Both of them.
Yeah.
Even Q2.
Hell yeah.
It was great. Can I just say I wasn't able to watch qualifying live. I was in the midst of setting up for a party. So I had to have my friend take my phone because notifications started to pile in. I was like, delete everything, mute every app. I can't see anything. But she forgot to mute the Williams app. And so my watch I would occasionally get an update and I'm trying to look away. But one popped up as I was looking at my watch and it's just like, blah, 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 Q2. I was just like, what? I was
I
stressed.
was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I turned on my phone
Likely.
to 348 text messages.
I'm pretty sure half of it was just me and Haley.
Yeah.
I think Reagan was doing something, Rosie was doing something, and then you two were doing something. So it was really just me and
It was
Haley.
just us screaming at each other, going, "The Ferrari's out! Logan's through!"
It was
Yeah, but speaking of the Ferraris, both Ferraris out in Q2.
Shock of the season.
Insane.
Anyway.
But you know who made it into Q3?
Alex Albon.
Alexander Albon.
Fernando
and Yuki
Alonso.
Tsunoda.
And Daniel Ricciardo.
Anyways.
Likely thing for Yuki.
Good on Yuki.
And George Russell. And both Mercedes.
I will say, is this the first or the second time Daniel's outqualified Yuki this season? Second?
Okay.
That's what I thought. He needs to stop that.
Cut it out.
He needs to cut that shit out right now.
I will say, seeing
on
both the
top,
Ferraris out in Q2, I kind of had a feeling this was gonna be a really bad weekend for them. It was like the start of a.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like the start of dread. I was like, okay, I'm full on Lando this weekend. Like I'm only. I'm only focusing on Lando. Like.
I was like, you know what? We're not focusing on Ferraris. I will focus on Carlos Sainz next race because that's Spain. That's Carlos and Fernando. I cannot wait for their freaking national anthem where they're standing together. I'm gonna be sick again. But I was like, I'm not focusing on them. I am focusing on Lance Stroll, but I have no hope for him. So I'm focusing on George Russell.
That was crazy.
Wild.
It was crazy. Just my intuition of my non-fellow Brit, but my Brit was gonna make it.
I mostly felt bad for the Ferraris one because
I don't. Okay. I'm loving the fall of Ferrari.
Didn't ask.
Okay.
Deserved.
We got Rosie's defense squad over here.
Somebody has to be the president of 1681 Nation while she's gone.
And it will not be me.
Okay, you gotta do her accent.
No. You can call my mom in. She can come do it. She's been walking around the house for 2 weeks now.
I want to hear it after this.
Please get her in. I want to hear it.
I will. But I felt bad because they were having some troubles at the start of the weekend. Like, not anything crazy, not like Red Bull.
During FP3.
But then they kind of got stuff fixed, and they felt good about it, and then I guess they didn't.
Ferrari's
I guess they didn't.
Just a liar.
Q2, both Ferraris are out. I giggled at the cut that they showed to Ollie, and Ollie's just absolutely in shock.
He was like,
Ollie's in the garage
don't want to go here.
He was so shocked.
I was like, Haas is not looking so bad.
Literally.
It was so funny. I was dying.
Yeah, and then Charles
give the cameraman a raise.
Charles is mad as hell, and then Carlos gets out the car. Oh, bad grip.
I do feel bad because Charles came from a high of a weekend in Monaco.
Okay. And then duality of Ferrari or whatever.
And then Ferrari really shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, likely for Ferrari to do. Sebastian Vettel, Germany 2019.
Anyway, I did enjoy the post-qualifying media stuff where Charles clearly is like teary-eyed, like had been crying, and Carlos is over there giggling into the microphone.
Good.
Going, I don't know what happened.
Carlos is at the part of this like whole thing where he's like, I was gonna say the break, but I realized it's not a break. He's at the part of his like whole Ferrari experience where he's like, you know what? They don't care about me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say good luck.
It's like when Seb
It's not
started
my
like
problem
talking
anymore.
shit about stuff in
It's
the
like when
media
you
where
put
he's
your
like,
2
yeah,
weeks
we
in.
can't.
Yeah, it's like when you put your 2 weeks
Yeah.
in, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm done.
What are they gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah, like Carlos is like, I'm just winging it here.
He's like, who cares? I'll take the check
But-
and I'll leave right now.
I think this is when Lewis said the thing about qualifying. And
What did he
George,
say?
this is, I don't know when it was, but he was telling somebody, I don't know who it was, that it's weird because every time in practices, his tires get up to temperature very easily, very fast, and he can put in good laps. And then in qualifying, for some reason, his tires take forever to heat up and get to the track temp. And then he was banned from speaking. So, Mercedes, that doesn't look good for you.
No.
At all.
No.
Head of PR maybe should be fired.
Oh my god, speaking of heads
That's
of
not good.
PR, I forget
Oh.
if it was during the race or like after qualifying. It might have been after the race, but I'll mention it now. When Charles is doing like the interviews, and then you see the officer his PR officer clearly saying like, you can do this or do that or say this or that, and he goes, I'll say what I want. And I was just like, oh,
It was after the race.
oh, that was after the race. Okay, but yeah,
I think the Ferrari men were on something this weekend.
Yeah.
And like, good for them.
depression.
Okay, Q1.
Babe, we just passed Q1. We
You
were
mean
talking about
Q3?
Q2. We're in
Q3.
Q3 now.
Okay, Q3, sorry.
George set the
George
112
Russell, baby!
Oh god.
with 6.5 minutes left in the 10-minute session. So good on him.
It's king. I gotta do it. I'm so sorry. I gotta do it. Rosie's not here.
I need
Everybody,
everyone to
just
know.
for the pod, for everybody to know, everybody hates George Russell except me.
Not
and
You
everyone.
know, I
Rosie.
hate him.
I don't hate him.
It's
I don't
just
hate
me.
him.
I just don't. I'm
Every
not,
time
like,
I say George
repping-
Russell, all of you flinch.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
flinch. Haley
because
flinches.
it's the magnitude of which you say George Russell.
George Russell.
See, that's too much energy for any of us.
I love that man. He is so funny. He is iconic. He has the best like poses ever. Slay.
He's a
Thank
silly
you.
guy, but
He's great.
I do need everyone to know that
Haley hates him.
I do. We were watching qualifying. George Russell gets P1. He gets pole. Less than 30 minutes later, anyone who likes Taylor Swift would know that she was performing. And then she sang two of my favorite songs of all time as surprise
The worst day of
songs.
Haley's life.
It was the worst day of my life. I was on Suicide Watch.
It was a great day
I
for
was
me
on
and
Suicide
Rosie.
Watch. I got all my socks taken away. It was a terrible day for
Can
me.
I tell you that I was at work? I was in Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
again,
Likely. Many such cases.
and I muted the group chat because I was like, I want to watch qualifying like without anything. I forgot to mute Rosie because Rosie doesn't ever text like race stuff to me personally, and all of us, I had the entirety of "God Save the King" in my text message, and I went, George Russell did something.
oh my god.
And it was like, God save our glorious king. Like, I was like, oh Lord, George Russell did something. Either he said something about Max where he's like, I'm just not gonna let him
Oh,
by because he's
God.
Max Verstappen in a Red Bull 2.0, or he got pole.
Either of which could have happened.
Yeah.
So you really didn't know.
But
Oh
it was
my
a
God.
sleigh,
Q3.
everybody. It was a sleigh. That's all I have for Q3 because
I had
Alonso. Let's
Alex
not talk about it.
P10. That is all.
Alonso did fine.
So
It was
this
six.
This was supposed to be his 33rd. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Says who?
it's not my fault
Says
that he qualified
me.
lower than
Well,
Daniel
you didn't
Ricciardo.
say it loud enough to him. He didn't hear you.
Oh.
The race.
Wait, Quali, the papayas,
Oh.
third and fourth.
The papayas.
Can't separate
Yes.
them.
All I know is that it was a Williams Ferrari double stuffed Oreo.
With a
Real.
house right behind.
Ugh, that was nightmarish
So
for me.
sorry.
I
had
said,
to
"Where
take a
is he
photo of
starting?"
Pippin.
He was sharing the row with Logan. not behind
Yeah.
him. If
No.
Kevin Magnussen had started behind Logan,
Oh,
I
you
would
would
have
have been in
watched the race.
Montreal.
The race.
The race.
The race.
I think we have to start off with saying I've got to say it. Props to K Mag and the Haas's.
Guys,
Uh,
first of all,
We're on something.
the first thing I have is rain start. Welcome back, Jensen Button. And then the second one, K Mag, you're kind of cooking here.
My notes
Bro.
go both Saubers in the pit lane at start. And then there's Haas on wets. K Mag cooked. ...
I almost forgot about
Yeah.
that. The
And then I
Saubers
have
in the
Charles
pit lane.
I had Charles just completely missing the turn. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Wow.
I don't even know what that's about.
He missed the turn.
I gotta start writing laps down.
Yeah.
And turn numbers.
Yeah.
What? What turn? When? Where?
Hold on.
Is that the one where people were like putting his onboard online and was like the car just didn't turn?
Maybe. I don't know.
And let me tell you, the car was turning. He just wasn't turning. He was like, phew, like you gotta be a little more aggressive.
I don't know if that
I
was
think-
that or if it was one of the other issues that he had later on before he retired the
just
car.
I just don't think that Twitter understands how an F1 car and like the steering suspension works.
I don't think most
in the
of
way that
F1
they
Twitter
don't
drives,
turn like a
apparently.
car. It doesn't. The wheels don't turn like your Honda Civic is going to turn. They don't have that turn radius.
Sorry. You call it out Honda Civic.
That's not how it works.
Okay.
Have they ever seen when they have to turn and they have to go almost
Yeah,
upside
it's
down?
like a full
Mhm.
thing.
If you do that in your fucking Nissan, you're flipping.
Oh, we're in a Nissan now. Oh.
Subaru is not catching strays, thank God.
No. Subaru and Acuras, they got good turn radiuses. They're good. They're fine.
Okay, Jensen
They can
Button.
make it.
But okay, also, I like how the commentators showed the race start like 10 times, and then they were like, "Oh, this is happening, this is happening." Then we went back to the actual race, and they're like, "Oh, Perez and Gasly collided on the first turn out
Yeah,
of the
just in case
start."
you
And I was
guys-
like, "All right,
Yeah,
we
if you
did
guys
like
didn't
10
see,
onboards
You
of the
didn't
starting
catch.
line. We didn't do either of theirs."
No.
Like,
Thank you. I'm so glad I had to watch K-Mag pass people to then get immediately repassed as soon as the track dried up. Thank you. I loved that.
can I say though, K-Mag, I understand he was on the right tires when everybody else wasn't, but it does take some skill still to
Yeah.
avoid hitting anyone.
Yeah.
Not
be
all
fair,
of them,
though,
but any of
He
them.
was passing the people at the start of the grid, which are the most skilled drivers, who are probably avoiding him. Who were probably
real.
like, you know what? Fuck it. Let him
Let
by.
him through. We'll get him next time.
They said
Also,
he's on
he got
wet.
fastest lap, and I was like, you know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
This is the highlight of his career. Good for him.
Rain
Kevin
started
Magnussen,
in
you will never
or-
get flowers. You will never get flowers from me ever again.
Oh,
Ever. Don't care.
She said, you
You
can
know
win a
what?
race, I don't care.
You know
Also,
why?
I
Because
have
you
a
cooked,
note-
but then you had an 8.6 second stop. That's karma.
I have
very
a note
funny.
that says Logan in all caps with the question mark, question mark, question mark. No idea why.
Lap
I'm-
6, he kissed the
Yeah.
wall, but he was able
Yeah.
to reverse back out and then get back on track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that was
the video
that
you
was
sent
kind of a
me.
slay.
Of everyone like
Slay.
applauding him backing out and going back on track.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I
we
know.
had loins on the table at P13, and then he did that, and then back to the bottom.
And then
Shh.
No.
I won't say it.
Can we talk about the Charles radio that actually sent me? It was so funny.
Which one?
Like, it's not his. It's just funny that his engineer. I was like, you are an engineer, and this is your response.
Is it the one?
Charles
Where
asked, "How much am I losing on the straights?"
Oh,
And he went, "Quite a
bit.
lot."
Quite a bit. And Charles was like, I need numbers.
Yeah.
And I was like,
my
he
God.
kind of gagged Charles.
And then Charles
Um,
gagged him right back, bro.
I was like, oh, and welcome back, GP and Max Verstappen.
Well, yeah. But you know, then the Ferrari tire strategy incident began.
That was a little silly. The
Listen,
race is a blur in my brain.
I get that the weather was funky. The weather was weird. Everyone was doing their own thing, trying to figure it out. Why the fuck are you gonna put him on slicks when it says rain in 5 minutes?
Because it's Ferrari.
Like,
Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Ferrari doesn't have a strategy.
we are checking.
We are checking.
That's it.
I have a comment. I would like
Go
to
ahead.
say something. I know everybody does not want to give him credit, but I will give him credit. George Russell was so good at controlling, first of all, the speed and keeping his tires from wearing and keeping Max behind him, all while Max is pressing him. And Mercedes says, just be careful, keep those tires warm.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
to be fair then, Lando was gaining, Lando was setting purple lap after purple lap, gaining on Max. The second he overtook Max, he overtook George like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
And
not
then
commenting
Max
on
overtook
Lando.
George.
I'm saying George did a very good job of keeping Max behind him for the majority of the race. Max Verstappen. No offense, Lando's not really. They're not up to McLaren standards. Where Mercedes wants to be is Red Bull. So they're fighting Red Bull even if
Well,
they
I
should
think
be fighting
every
Ferrari
car
and
wants-
Mercedes.
Did you just admit that Red Bull
McLaren.
currently is below McLaren in performance?
Yeah,
Yes.
baby.
What a time to be alive. Welcome back, Formula One.
Imagine telling us this, last year in Melbourne.
Literally.
I would have been like, "You're lying to me. Please don't
I'm not
speak to
gonna
me ever
lie.
again."
I at the beginning of the weekend, like from the start of FP1, I was like, Max isn't gonna win this race. Like, I was convinced that somebody else was gonna win this race, and it wasn't gonna be Max because I didn't know who it was gonna be. Even after qualifying, like I was like, oh, I really truly don't think like Max is gonna win. Like because all of the issues that he was complaining about, I truly didn't see him winning. Obviously I was proven wrong, but there was a point where I thought Lando could actually do it again.
It was a good race because Max wasn't leading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
That's the
there
thing
was
is,
actual
Max won,
racing.
but he had to fight for it. Like
Yeah.
he was not given
I don't-
that win.
Like if it kind of, not that I was a fan during 2021, but like watching the races back, it kind of felt like 2021, except instead of Lewis, it was George. And then Lando came in and went above George. But for a while, it was George and Max. And I was like, this is 2021 again. Total Wolf is literally going to have a heart attack because of this. And I was like, Lewis Hamilton's really upset. I can tell. And if you go to his radio, he's like, what are we doing? Like, his engineer was not talking to him at all about George. Like, Lewis would literally ask, where's George? And they say, you're currently P whatever. Like, they did not give him anything about George.
My name isn't George.
Like,
yeah.
Mercedes is messed up. Anyways.
I don't like Mercedes. I have beef. So
I
want nothing but bad things to happen to them.
Speaking of starts DR3.
I have seen this.
Yes.
And I'm so sorry. I know we're all Lando girlies. However, Daniel Ricciardo's on board. He barely moved. He didn't really jump the start. He was rolling. I get it. But if he got a penalty for that, Lando should have gotten one for that false start. Because Lando actually jumped the start. I
don't think he should have got a penalty for this. As well as I don't think Lando should have got a penalty for his either, which obviously he didn't. But from what I understand, it wasn't even Danny Rick. It was like a mechanical thing that happened. From what I remember hearing over what his engineer told him, like when he was like asking why, it apparently was a mechanical thing and not like actually him, which I think is crazy.
So good for him, and Yuki didn't. So there's a stat. I will say Daniel's kind of cooking now. He's in a car that he now knows, and I have a feeling that VCarb is making the car a better fit for Danny now than Yuki, because before Yuki was above
Yuki's contracts.
I know.
Yeah.
Not Danny's.
30 minutes before qualifying.
I'm telling you right now, they are waiting for Austin for Danny Rick.
Anyway,
That's what I
Daniel's
think.
cooking in the way that like a
be
McDonald's
sometime
employee
soon.
cooks.
Hey,
And Yuki is cooking like a Michelin star chef.
that's crazy.
You can't compare apples to oranges.
Listen, I'm not saying Yuki isn't doing well. I think he's doing great, but I think V-Carb doesn't really care about Yuki, and now they're making sure that Daniel places higher and the car is built for Daniel and not Yuki, and it's showing. That's what I'm saying. Not that I hate Yuki. I love Yuki. But I do think they put Yuki above Liam Lawson and Nick DeVries.
Good, he cooked both of them. Love you, Liam Lawson.
But now he's getting the second driver treatment.
I would like somebody remind me later when we're talking about Le Mans. I have a Nick DeVries comment to make.
Oh, I got you.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Also, I have a comment that says, "Can Charles stop complaining? I beg."
Well, guess what? He stopped once he got out.
Once he DNF'd.
Okay, but can we be honest? They could have pulled Charles many laps earlier.
No, they definitely could have. And
I was watching a dog struggle for life.
No, it was awful. They put him on slicks and they left him out to die.
The thing is like, I think what I was saying was like, just stop the car. I think what I was saying, I was watching, I was
they should have.
Okay, then get out of the garage. Like, just say stop.
It's like when Williams should have retired Alex way earlier than they did.
Don't.
They should have retired Charles when he was
so much. No, but that wasn't hit. That was Charles. He's like, I might as well just go back out and try.
Try for what, brother?
For what? To be unlapped.
What?
Like, what was he?
I think the craziest thing about Charles being so behind is I saw a video of the real-time gap between Joe and then him.
I got flashbacks.
Joe was like,
I got flashbacks in Miami.
Fernando.
I got flashbacks of where's Fernando?
I will say
flashbacks.
Imagine being
the original person who tweeted that. I went to their account and went block. I'll never see that video again. Thank God.
I will say, imagine being Max in that position though, because he lapped him. And he had just said literally in an interview earlier that day, "Oh, I think Charles will be the next championship winner. Like after I'm done winning, I think it's Charles." And imagine lapping him that same day. I mean,
guys, I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't be an F1 driver because if I was Max, I would just go.
This is why we need proximity chat.
Oh, proximity chat would be so crazy.
I'm so sorry. I love you, Alex and Logan. But if I passed them, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what a loser. And continue driving. But the thing is, I'd be so bad, I'd crash the second after.
No, because
and I'm like, oh, that's karma.
If I was getting lapped, I would be pissed and I would crash. I would hit the person.
No, you're like, none of my watch.
One person laps me, stopping on the track and getting out and going. I'm like, I will take a bus. Get me out of here.
Speaking of lap, Joe was the only one to finish +1 lap down.
Well,
yeah, because the other ones just DNF'd.
He didn't crash.
Hey, Yuki
not
was
only did both
+2.
Ferraris. Not only did both Ferraris not qualify to Q3, but they didn't even finish the race.
It was a Williams Ferrari double DNF.
Guys, I was laughing so hard because I was like, oh my gosh, Charles went from winning Monaco to DNFing, haha. And Lex was like, please just wait. I was like, no, it's fine. And then Carlos was like, engine problems. And I was like, this is what I get. This is what I get for laughing.
Yeah.
This is what
Remember when I said Williams Ferrari double stuffed Oreo?
Oh.
Yeah, well then there's Checo.
Yep. Speaking of Checo, 3 grid. Oh my gosh.
3
grid.
Did you see the comment under the freaking post about that? They went, Sergio Perez is getting a 3 grid penalty in Spain and goes, so instead of 20th, he'll be 23rd.
Real.
And I was like, ooh.
I saw somebody else say, so if he finishes, he qualifies, what was it, P 18, 17, and get 3 grid penalty and
3 place grid penalty is taking Tay out.
I can't speak, guys.
This is not her day.
I saw someone who hit Vamos 3 grid penalty.
Oh my god, it was Arab. Arab's running joke is so funny. Listen, I don't follow Quadrant like that, but anytime Checo does something, Arab goes, Vamos! Insert what he did wrong. It is the funniest running bit.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it because it is
Also,
so
but
funny.
I just wanna talk about that 3 grid penalty because
Vamos P17 with the broken rear wing.
can we just talk about how I feel really bad for Checo though because
actually, it should have been on him. It should have been.
That's not on him.
It's not.
Yeah, it should have been a fine.
Because
Yeah.
what did they want him to do? Stop the car in a dangerous place?
Well, no, that was the thing. Did you hear what they ended up finding out? Was that they got on the radio and they told him, you need to drive back to the pit. And he said, but, you know, like, my car is broken. It's going to be unsafe. And they said, we can't risk a safety car and Max losing the lead. You have to come back to the pit. Yeah. So it should have been on the team, not on him.
I do agree
did
with that.
what he was told.
And they know for a fact the team, if that was Max, the team would have, like, totally gone and said, like, this is not happening.
Get out.
But the thing is the team going to the steward saying, like, this should be a fine, not on Checo, they would have to then say, yeah, we told Checo to drive.
Exactly.
Because we didn't want to risk a safety car.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And honestly,
this isn't like a McLaren in Miami where they told Oscar to stop fighting because this is like they made their driver drive in an unsafe car.
Exactly.
After Monaco, which, by the way, thank God he walked away alive.
Exactly. Yep.
What I find even crazier about the whole thing is that they didn't want to risk a safety car. And then 2 laps later, there was a safety car. So honestly,
leaving.
Oh, she's gone.
I'm protecting my peace, everyone. My headphones are off. I don't know what they're saying. I had a rough week.
I wasn't saying anything bad. It wasn't anything bad. I was just saying.
I don't hear nothing.
No, come.
Let me chat her.
Am I
Hold
being
on.
invited back? Okay. I am back.
She's
okay,
back.
I'm not saying anything.
Back.
I'm not.
Did you see that on your end? It popped up over your face. It like filled up the whole screen.
Come back.
Anyways, that was not a private message. Oh, I'm gonna start using that feature.
Okay, anyway, so what I was saying was, I wasn't saying anything bad. I was saying they didn't want to risk a safety car but why didn't they just have a safety car at that time? Yeah. Maybe we wouldn't have had to crash then.
Oh, true.
Oh,
so we can blame it on Checo.
Yeah.
Real.
There you go.
Can we talk about how crazy this race was? Because both Alpines got points. Not that there were many cars that didn't get points because so many people DNF'd, but
there was 5 DNFs. Yeah, there were only like 5 places you couldn't get points.
And then Ocon then goes on after the race and says, "Yeah, Pierre Gasly has a lighter car than me."
Oh yeah.
I'm like, so sorry. So sorry. There were no upgrades. Not one car was running an upgrade.
They can't
it's the same exact car. So most likely you just weigh a little bit more than Pierre Gasly,
and
which is normal.
And he's reading the total weight of him in the car and not just the car. Which, like, bro, can we read? Do we have reading comprehension skills? Do we teach that in France?
But also, let's talk about Alonso and Stroll.
It was a very, in my honest opinion, Moss, I didn't write it down, but my note was that I was like, this is a very quiet race for Aston Martin.
Yeah,
but
it was.
not in a bad way.
Thank God. I'm done.
It was a
loud
good thing
races
that they had
for
a
Aston
quiet
Martin.
race.
I'm done with it. I'm done. I can't. Aston Martin, I don't have any more let's go Aston Martin, Vamos, Fernando Alonso left in me.
I had to pull a Vamos last night.
Oh.
I had to tweet a Vamos.
Good.
I was like, oh, I'm pulling a Mox.
I will say, I really wish Fernando Alonso was on the podium, but he started 6th and ended 6th. He finished the race, everybody. Thank God.
Couldn't relate.
He seemed like he was having fun.
Was he?
Well, he's chill after the fact.
Anyways,
true.
Landon
and
Norris
then he
P2.
released this. Anyways, George Russell P3, baby.
Anyways.
Oh no, I'm gonna get muted or kicked out.
I was literally my mouse is hovering over the little dot.
I know. I saw your eyes. I saw you go like this. George Russell, did anybody see his podium graphic? He is a good-looking man.
This race didn't
Anyway.
exist in my brain.
Anyways.
It's crazy. There was a
you
long
know what
gap between
happened?
Monaco and Spain.
Well, yeah, crazy. Summer break came early.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Spanish Grand Prix for a second? And how dirty Aston Martin did Fernando Alonso with the merch? He looks like a jewel or a vape or whatever it
He
is.
looks like an elf bar.
Not the elf bar. Aston
He
Martin
looks
let
like a
him
vape.
be jeweled.
Oh. No, but you know what's so funny? This is the night that came out. Taylor Swift was performing, and she came out in an outfit yellow and orange, that exact color. And I was like,
Taylor
it was an
Swift let
Easter egg,
Fernando
everybody.
be
It was
jeweled.
an Easter egg.
Yeah. My agenda.
But then, Carlos Sainz merch is so freaking cute. I will be
need
buying
that hat. I need that hat
I'm
desperately.
Little chilies.
Spanish Grand Prix with rumors that Carlos is going to announce his seat either on or before the Grand Prix gives me anxiety.
It's gonna be Williams.
As a Logan Sargent fan,
I can't.
I know it's
gonna be
Okay,
anxiety.
listen. It doesn't. Can I just say that it makes zero sense for Carlos to go to Williams?
Yeah,
Zero
but where
sense.
is he gonna go? Haas?
Take a break. Take a whole year off and then go to Audi.
No.
I
No
really
offense,
need to-
I'd rather Logan in an IndyCar and Carlos Sainz have an F1 seat than Logan Sargent have an F1 seat and Carlos Sainz gone.
No, listen. This isn't even about Logan.
Oh no, there
I'm
she goes
protecting
again.
my piece again. Anyway, if
Okay, no,
Carlos
it
Sainz
makes
to Williams,
listen.
it's because Williams is in a what's it called? What did they call it? I've lost it.
Okay, the reason why Carlos Sainz is going to Williams is because the contract is a long-term contract. James Vowles has said they've offered a long-term contract to him, and there is a like little clause that says if Carlos Sainz in 2026 gets a better offer, he will be able to go with absolutely no strings attached. He won't owe any money. He can drop them immediately.
That's crazy.
It's the
James
only
Vowles.
reason.
Yes, Taylor.
I would just like to say, this has nothing to do with Logan losing his seat because I would love for Logan to go to I would love for Logan to go to IndyCar because I know he would thrive there. Next.
Also, I want to see him for cheap.
Exactly. I want to meet him for $75 every day of the week in the paddock. So thank you. Next, I think it makes zero sense for Carlos to go to Williams because why the fuck would he go to a team that can't even get their freaking car right?
Because he'd be the first driver.
I remembered what I was gonna say
After
when I
just
forgot.
signing Alex for multi-years and building the team around Alex. This
podiums
whole...
that can beat Red Bull versus no podiums.
James Vowles has been on
not
record
a single
saying
Williams
that like
car
we're in the
is going
rebuilding
to-
Wait,
era.
hold on.
Rebuilding era.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Rebuilding
forgot
era.
the word rebuilding existed. But because Carlos would be signing on as like a long term, like what Mark said, because Williams right now is not really in contention to fight for much. So it's really just rebuilding, which is why Alex signed on for another 2 years. If Carlos goes, it'll probably be like a 2 year as well, if not a little longer. Who knows? Logan Sargent's gonna sign to Kick Sauber. Thanks.
How can I just ask? And anyone at Williams can answer this. How the fuck are you guys affording Carlos Sainz?
Exactly.
After Carlos
Exactly.
just sent Alex into the wall, how are you guys affording him?
I think that Carlos Sainz, they told him they will buy him for this much or give him this much money. And they know that Carlos Sainz will bring more sponsors than anybody else on the grid.
He won't bring Estrella Galicia.
Yeah, let's see what else Zach Brown can steal. He may not be bringing anything.
Okay, wait, also speaking of Zach Brown, he is such a gossip girl.
Oh my god, I love him.
He's like,
I don't.
Adrian Newey.
I'm turned him.
Lex, he literally went,
It's
Adrian
so funny.
Newey won't only be the top person that Red Bull loses if they keep Christian Horner.
He's like, I've seen resumes on my desk. I've
And I
seen
went,
stuff
you know
going
what?
by, and it's like,
Sir, I'm
Okay,
ready.
Messi.
I have my pad open. I have my pen. Tell me names.
Name names.
We're ready to make team graphics.
Messi.
This is a rare
Literally.
Zach Brown W.
I hate the man. I hate the man. I despise him. I want him gone.
When
But
he showed up out
Not
of
as much as you
nowhere,
want Christian Horner gone.
Exactly.
when
Actually,
he popped up out of nowhere at 10
But
p.m.
kind
on
of
my
even.
TV at Le Mans, I was like,
I hate the man. I hate the man. Zach Brown, no offense to McLaren, but Zach Brown looks like the man that would be in the stadium of like a sporting match that I'd get stuck next to, and he'd be like, name every single winner on every single team ever.
my
Like,
mom
can you
thinks
do
he
it?
looks
And
like
he's like, and he goes, no, but it doesn't matter because I'm a man. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He has said that to somebody.
my mom says he looks like a used car salesman.
Oh, real.
I always think back to the fact that he got his start in motorsports because he won Wheel of Fortune. And that's all I need to know about him.
It was team.
I look
Wheel
at
of
him and I'm
Fortune.
like, yeah.
Likely. Canada was wet,
Guys, it's
Yeah.
as was my
Spain.
face from the tears.
Good.
Real.
Poetry.
Me when I was
Carlos
crying
took
'cause
out
of Word of the-
Alex. Logan took himself out.
Oh.
Ferrari took Charles.
To be honest, in that race, I too would take myself out.
Honestly, yeah. If I was Logan, I also
Good
would
for
have.
him.
I would have been like, I'm done. I'm bored.
This
I
is
don't
why
know,
Jensen
wet.
Button needs to come to every single race because Williams does not treat the man well when his father is not there.
Jensen Button.
Jensen Button,
I
I
have
thank you.
position for
Jensen
you.
Button, hear our prayers.
Sharks.
Next is Spain.
Back to
Let's
Europe.
hope I'm not that without the S. At the end of the
Real.
weekend.
And let's hope Logan is not that without the A.
I just want one Spaniard on the podium. One Spaniard. Preferably
Real.
Fernando
I saw
Alonso.
that McLaren is bringing upgrades again.
So is Ferrari. Ferrari
Okay.
is intimidated with McLaren's upgrade, so they have accelerated their upgrade. They weren't supposed to
Please
bring
give
it
me
until
Carlando
Monza.
on the podium, but
Okay.
Lando
Please give
winning
me
and Carlo backing.
Carlando on the podium.
Carlin
Oh my gosh, if it's a-
Nando.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Anyways, back to the race.
Yeah, what'd you have to say about the race? K-Mag?
I know I've been avoiding it because it causes me pain, but to discuss Williams, to discuss Alexander Albon, his double overtake
Oh,
Mm.
yes.
Oh.
Ocon
my
and
Oh my
Danny Rick
gosh.
has gone unnoticed by us this race, and I just got reminded of it. That was the overtake of the season. I don't care.
That's
Double
incredible.
overtake, knowing exactly where to go. Good on him.
That was
Incredible.
perfect. It was
That
beautiful.
was the driver that Red Bull signed.
When I tell you, I
And I'm like,
was
not in a bad
so
way.
tense.
Not in a bad, like, oh, Alex can't drive anymore. I think he still can. But I think this was the first time he had a car that actually let him drive like
Mhm.
he used to drive. So sorry to Logan because he didn't get the chance. But
I'll take my headphones off again.
I think if Williams gave Logan a chance, he could do a double overtake too.
You know
Oh,
who
yeah.
Logan did
Yeah, but,
overtake before
but-
DNFing? Carlos Sainz.
But Williams is too
Yeah.
focused on trying to spend all their money to sign Carlos Sainz and won't give Logan all the upgrades or give him a good car. So
I just need to.
Can I just tell you?
2024
Can I tell
win.
you right now? Williams does not have money for Carlos Sainz. They're going to sign him and say the money's coming. They're waiting for his sponsors to give them money, and then they're giving Carlos Sainz the money they get from his sponsors. So basically, he's paying himself. Basically, he's self-employed.
This is why I don't think he's going to Williams, and I think it's the worst idea ever.
Where else would he go?
Sauber still has a seat open. He could just
Ugh.
he could literally just not
Ugh.
drive for a year. He could do what
No.
Danny Rick did.
No,
and then come back.
No, thank you. I need Carlos Sainz in a car because
You want him
can
in a Williams?
Yes. Can I tell you right now that I'd rather him in a Williams than not in a car at all?
I don't ever want to hear you jacking that team ever again. Ever again.
Oh, trust me, guys. This car launch is gonna be so
Chat,
fun in New York.
let me tell you this right now. To the audience, not these three with me. I'm looking dead at you. I am a Williams fan. That team is my team. I love Carlos Sainz more than anything in the world, and Logan Sargent is my favorite driver, period. This is the most emotional turmoil I've ever been in.
What if Carlos just starts his own company and starts his own team?
See, there you go. Okay,
Lance
great.
Stroll. What if he just buys Williams?
Okay, I mean, fair.
He could.
But
I feel like his father could. Yeah, then Logan Sargent and Alex Albon are gone. I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
Not the car
anyways,
Alex that I
what
asked
team do we
for.
think Andretti's gonna buy?
Haas.
Haas. I don't think Haas is going to be here in 2025, which is why they haven't signed any drivers.
No, I actually fully believe, because they backed out of NASCAR, I fully believe that they Andretti's
broke.
gonna buy
Yeah.
them out, and we're gonna have Andretti. So Andretti, do I have a proposal for you? If you're
Yeah.
listening.
Sargent in that fucking chair.
Logan and Ollie.
Wild. Who's,
And
no
I stand by
offense,
that.
who's the seasoned driver in that lineup? Okay. Aston Martin came in, brought Sebastian Vettel because they needed a seasoned driver with the driver who didn't have any success. No offense, Lance. I love you so much, but it's true. Alpine came in, brought Fernando Alonso back from retirement because they needed an experienced driver. They need an experienced driver with really good stats to bring their team up and bring sponsors.
Crazy. Anyway.
Welcome back to Formula One, Sebastian
Stop.
Bastian. I couldn't say his name. I said Sebastian Bastian.
Anyway, I would just like
Guys,
to point
I'll
out
tell
that
you right
both
now, if
Logan.
Sebastian Vettel and
Hold
Logan
on.
Andretti.
Hold on, we can do it.
Both Logan and Ollie have points in Formula One.
I think Ollie has scored more points than Logan.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to say that because I didn't want you to kill yourself live on camera.
Oh, I'm already going
Welcome.
to.
Wait, you know what, Andretti? Do I have a proposal for you?
Oh, Jesus.
Logan Sargent and Jensen Button.
Sign me up! Sign me up! Sign me up!
Jensen is
Andretti,
not going to
Sharks.
Andretti.
Okay, he will
I'm
follow
pulling up
his
to
son.
that office. I'm pulling up to that office with a
will follow
briefcase
his
and a suit.
Okay. Anyway, so we're done with the race, because I think we have a
Are we
couple
doing
things
Le
to talk
Mans?
about.
I
was
want to
gonna-
talk a little bit about Le Mans.
Yeah, and I
but-
also wanted to talk about something with IndyCar. Guess who's back in a car?
David Malukas!
Anyways,
Back in a fucking car.
back in a car.
And it's not a McLaren. It's not a McLaren.
You don't see. You're not here.
You don't see this.
I don't have any McLaren
Don't look
merch,
at any of
so-
this.
You
Don't
should close
look
your
at it.
eyes.
Hey, it's different if it's Senna. It's different if it's Senna. It's
Oh,
Senna.
That's a different McLaren.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like saying I'm a Ferrari Michael Schumacher fan because, like,
Hmm.
you're a Michael Schumacher fan, you're not a Ferrari fan.
Right. I'm very excited for him. Yeah, very excited for him. People are very upset that he's taken that seat, but I think he
Okay,
deserved
who did
it.
he replace? Did he replace anybody, or did they just...
Wasn't it Tom? Hold on. Let me,
Yeah,
let
it
me
was
the
make
most
sure.
white
Tom.
man I've ever heard, so goodbye, Tom. Anyways.
Bloomquist?
Yeah.
Bloomquist? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Go back to Wall Street, dude.
He's a rookie, right?
Never mind.
Right? I don't confirm, deny, I don't know.
Hold
not-
I
on.
don't
take back
follow
my
IndyCar
Wall
that
Street
crazy.
comment
Yeah.
if he is.
Yeah,
Never
so he was a
mind.
rookie. So he kind of got the
The McLaren treatment.
I still don't know. I will.
or the
yeah,
Red Bull treatment.
I would say like
The Nick DeVries
almost
treatment.
the Nick DeVries treatment,
Yeah.
because there's still a lot of uncertainty.
Let me look up this man.
Oh
What's
my
his
God.
name?
So,
What's
Tom
his name? Tom
Blomqvist. BLOM.
Q something
Oh, it'll
something
pop up.
something.
QVIST. So he did exactly get the Nick DeVries treatment because he did one or two races in 2023 for IndyCar. He jumped in, but it was for the not like the championship races. Anyone who doesn't know IndyCar, they do races for money also throughout the year, not just championship points. So
AKA
he
the
jumped in
Thermal
for a
Club.
couple of those, yeah, and he did pretty well. He was pretty good. He has been doing an endurance championship racing, so that transferred over how it did. So they really liked him. They brought him on as full time in 2024. He has not been doing the best. He's been doing fine, but not the best. And he is an older driver. 30 is not old, but for an athlete, it's up there, especially as a rookie. It's your first year in IndyCar. It's up there. So people are not happy that he got replaced with David, but I think it's better for the team.
Technically, David's not the first person to replace him, but
Yep.
he's the full-time replacement for the rest of the season.
Exactly. Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah.
When can I watch David Malukas in a car?
Next race, I think, right?
Yeah.
Which is?
Next week?
Let me check.
Maybe?
So.
That means we don't get social media admin David Malukas anymore, which I'm kind of upset about, but
the
okay.
23rd.
Yeah, so next weekend.
In Monterey. Yeah. So he'll be in full-time for the rest of the season, which is great.
Pink and white David Malukas.
Yep, he's in a pink car, which is very slay.
Yeah.
I am a little bit sad
That
because
scares Alpine.
Yeah. Nolan Siegel did take over one seat for the last race at Road America, but it's not a full-time seat. Hopefully it will be.
Sad face.
Hopefully Nolan Siegel does get a full-time seat, or we at least see him race a couple more times.
That actually really angers me.
I understand.
Speaking
Everything
of
angers
Nolan,
you.
Speaking of Nolan, he is now
won.
the youngest Le Mans winner.
Woo!
She muted
And
herself.
It should have been Jensen Button.
They weren't racing
I
in the
actually-
same.
I'm
That's
well
a different
aware.
category.
They were
do
different
not understand.
categories.
I do not understand world endurance. I just want.
I don't
Jensen
understand
Button
how
on a
Le Mans
podium.
works in all the different categories, so I'm just, anytime
I don't
someone's
either.
like,
I
this
just
is
want
happening, I
Jensen
say,
Button on a podium
"Whee!"
here. I just need Jensen Button on a podium. Thank you very much.
Okay, well then I think you need to take that up with Ferrari.
Damn.
Anyways, so Nolan won in the
Yes.
LMP2 category.
Yep.
Clement Novalag is also on podium.
Oh,
Yes.
yay, go
Yes.
Clement.
Yes.
I know him. I know that guy.
Yes. Unfortunately, Robert Schwartzman's car and Robert Kubica's car did get out pretty close to the end of the.
To speak about cars getting out.
Don't even.
It was
don't
a
even bring
Ferrari.
it up. Do not bring up cars going out.
I
let's
wanna
talk
talk
about the
about
Where's
Alpine.
the spirit
wanna
in
talk
that
about
garage?
Let's talk about the Alpine F2 engine.
Yeah, they have a modified F2 engine in a World Endurance Championship 24-hour race car. They
so
put
fucking
a
funny.
modified F2 engine, which regularly shits itself on a 2-mile track, and they expected it to last
Likely.
24 straight hours
is why
in
I
two
think-
different cars.
This is why I think Alpine's gonna last one more season in F1. They don't have money.
Alpine is a money laundering front. That is it. That is the only explanation I have. I don't understand what they're doing. And they posted a video on their Twitter, and I hope that you cut it in here with no music. Don't put the sound on anything. With the caption, "Hopes are still high." Everyone in that place was on suicide watch. There was not a single smiling face in there.
I just saw that tweet of yours and I was giggling.
That is the most depressed collection of people I've ever seen in my life.
Also, it was all of the F1 drivers, or not all of them, but both of the F1 drivers for Alpine in that garage, like hyping them up, and like Esteban's always with Mick, like, I'm rooting for Mick. I'm like, you cursed him.
Well, of course
Yeah.
they're rooting for Mick. They're childhood friends. No, actually, let's talk about it. How Mick definitely cursed Alpine because he keeps breaking the Mercedes simulations.
Real.
Like, he literally makes it break. And I don't mean the chair he's in, I mean the actual simulation
Like
somehow.
the mechanics. I will also say shout out to the Joda Herta team because Callum Ilott car,
or not,
the car that Callum Ilott was driving and Will, it got very messed up, so badly messed up. Like the 2 days before the race.
Oh yeah.
And they had 36 hours to get it back into pristine condition. And they did it. They did the work that they said would have taken them 3 weeks in the factory with everything they needed in 36 hours in a portable garage.
Williams could never.
In Le Mans.
Hey.
And they got it
Keep
fixed.
my team
Not
out
only...
your mouth, Taylor.
That's my team too.
Keep my
Oh my
no.
God.
Keep my team out your mouth.
Oh my god. Anyway, they got it not only fixed well enough to race at all, it lasted the entire race. Both Joda Herta cars finished the race in the top 10, I believe.
Callum's team was 8th
Wasn't it
and
s-
Jensen
yeah.
was 9th.
Yep.
Also
Incredible.
they
My
were
man right
granted
there.
a
No, it's
shakedown.
not. It's Rosie's. Rosie, it's your man.
That's my father-in-law.
They were also
My father-in-law.
Anyway, a dog got loose at some point
I saw
on the
that.
track.
And I saw people running after the dog. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that was wild. We had a safety car for 4 straight hours. There were 5 safety cars in total. First, it started with safety car A, and then they replaced safety car A with safety car B, and everyone was like, "Whoa, I didn't know we had 2 safety cars."
Didn't
but I
the
guess
safety
that makes
cars
sense.
run out of? Oh my gosh! Speaking of safety car,
That was
speaking of
safety
safety
car-
car,
Oh yeah, show your Aston Martin safety car.
guys,
Incredible.
do not ask me how long this took me, please.
It was under a day.
Yeah.
So that's a
No,
small
actually,
victory.
it wasn't. I made this on one day, and I made this one in 2 days.
Incredible.
And I'm pretty sure it's missing parts, but I'm ignoring it.
So yeah, then safety car B came in, and they sent out safety car C, and everyone was like, "Oh,
This is a
shit's getting
driving
real.
test.
Shit's getting real." And at this point, Scott Dixon was out. The IndyCar driver was out. His car was out of the race, and so the Chip Ganassi team started a rumor on Twitter that Scott Dixon was driving the safety car, and then they brought out safety car D, and safety car D ran out of fuel. So then there were talks of safety car E, and I don't know if safety car E ever came out or not. I went to bed. It was, if anyone's ever watched Le Mans, it gets to a point around like 6, 7
The
p.m.
headlights.
where all you can see are the headlights, and you just get flashbanged for 10 hours. So at some point, you just have to turn it off, and you come back in the morning. Alex Palou did pretty well. He came in 6th. His car came in 6th in Le Mans. And I think that's all the people I cared about.
Yeah. That sounds
What
about
was
right.
your
So,
Nick
yeah.
DeVries comment?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. That guy pisses me the fuck off. Why do they keep putting him in cars that he doesn't know how to work? He did not know how to work the windshield wiper in his car.
Likely.
Oh, Roman Grosjean did really well. Also, he had water leaking into his car at one point.
I saw, and he was
to,
like,
he had to
he
reach
was
up to like, yeah, he just had to like push the ceiling back up and
there
like
was like
hold
a
it.
tweet that I saw. That's
But-
like, he's a plumber. I'm like,
Yeah.
he all around guy.
He just got all the elements in the car, I guess. So, I prefer water for him. So I'm happy with that. I'm sure he is too. So.
Oh my god.
All that's left
Great.
is Earth.
Earth and air?
As
And
long as
air.
He
it's
gets air with IndyCar. He gets air with
He gets Earth
IndyCar.
with IndyCar. All he has left is Earth.
Yeah.
well, actually,
Nobody
technically, he gets Earth
He gets
with
gravel.
IndyCar as well.
Yeah.
Because he gets you know what? He's had them all. So
He's the
props to you,
airbender.
Roman. Oh my
No,
god.
he's not.
The Avatar.
The Avatar.
Yeah. Love that for him. But yeah.
Crazy.
So we're going into a triple header.
Fun.
Crazy. I'm nervous about it, especially Austria is a sprint, so they have a sprint in between the two other races.
Oh.
It's what, Spain, Austria, then Silverstone?
You know, guys, I'm telling you right now, if Fernando Alonso gets frickin' run over by this frickin' sprint in Austria, and I get off the plane to England, and I see Fernando Alonso has a penalty for Silverstone, it's done. I'm literally
gotta
on a
breathe.
plane. I'm literally on a plane during this race. I'm going to lose my mind. I really hope I have a man next to me who's also into F1, because if not, I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be like, you don't care. It should be hour 2. Fernando Alonso should be on the podium by now.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us as we recapped the Canadian Grand Prix. It was most certainly a race for most of us to forget. Join us next week when we attack the first of the triple header. We're heading to Spain. Maybe there'll be some contract announcements. There's definitely going to be some upgrades. Hopefully, for Mox's sake, a 33rd. Who knows? See you then.
Please.
Bye.
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 Oh my god.